Sometimes how we choose to experience a story can fundamentally change the story itself. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately, especially with some of the recent news around a particular video game and its television adaptation. It brings up some interesting questions about narrative and really about how we engage with art. Specifically, I'm talking about the game The Last of Us Part 2. It's been in the news for a couple of reasons this week. According to Variety, the game's television counterpart, The Last of Us TV series, was just nominated for a Humanitas Prize. And that's a significant award. It celebrates works that inspire compassion, hope, and understanding. But then, almost simultaneously, the game's developer, Naughty Dog, released a new update for the remastered version of the game. And this update, it introduces what they're calling a chronological mode. Now, for those unfamiliar, the original Last of Us Part 2 game tells its story in a very deliberate, non-linear way. It opens with a really impactful, brutal moment, then it jumps around in time, showing you events from different characters' perspectives, often out of sequence, to build empathy and challenge your assumptions. It's a powerful narrative choice. And it was, honestly, quite divisive when the game first came out. People had very strong reactions to it. So, this new chronological mode lets players experience the entire story in a straight line, from beginning to end. And the reactions to this new mode have been interesting. Some outlets, like PC Gamer, sarcastically described it as a way to play through a story with all the finesse of a Wikipedia plot summary. Gizmodo went further, claiming the mode can now rob you of its most brutal moment, suggesting it undermines the emotional gut punch that the original nonlinear structure delivered. And Rock Paper Shotgun simply declared it a new mode nobody asked for. Now, let's unpack that a bit. The fact is, a new mode exists, offering a linear way to play. The framing around it, though, is that it's somehow detrimental, that it diminishes the artistic intent, or that it's simply unwanted. But is that entirely fair? When Naughty Dog announced this update on the PlayStation blog, they stated they believe players will gain even deeper insight into Part Two's narrative via the chronological mode. And that's a direct contrast to the idea that it robs the story. So, which is it? I mean, on one hand, I understand the argument that the original structure was precisely what made the game so impactful for many. That initial shock, the way perspectives shifted and made you reevaluate characters, that was a core part of its design. To simply linearize it could, yes, remove some of that immediate visceral punch. But on the other hand, is a single gut punch the only valid way to experience a profound story, or even the best way for everyone? Think about it. We reread books, we rewatch films, often knowing the ending. Does knowing the ending of a mystery novel rob you of the experience when you reread it? Or does it allow you to appreciate the clues, the foreshadowing, the character development in a new light? Does it deepen your understanding of how the story was told? Perhaps this chronological mode isn't about replacing the original experience, but about an alternative lens. Maybe for some players, the nonlinear structure was a barrier to fully grasping the narrative. Or maybe they just prefer a more straightforward unfolding of events. And if a developer offers a free update that allows for a different kind of engagement, is that really a bad thing? To claim nobody asked for it is, frankly, an assumption. We don't know the full spectrum of player preferences, and a developer might see value in providing options even if they haven't been explicitly shouted for. And then there's that Humanitas Prize nomination. The prize celebrates stories that explore the human condition, that foster understanding. If a story is truly rich in those qualities, if it's genuinely about compassion and insight, then perhaps its core message can withstand or even be illuminated by different structural approaches. A chronological viewing might allow some to connect events more directly, to trace character arcs with less mental effort, and in doing so, perhaps, gain a different kind of deeper insight into the very human struggles depicted. It's not necessarily about one being superior, but about different paths to understanding. It just makes me wonder, are we sometimes too rigid in how we believe stories should be told or how they should be experienced? When a creator offers a new lens, is it always about robbing the original or perhaps enriching the overall understanding of the work? I'll be around. If this kind of reflection speaks to you, feel free to leave a comment or share it or just hit like. You can subscribe too if you haven't yet. I'll be around.